Hey, YouTube told me 24 hours, but it's only really been like 20. And it says we are live. Well, I mean, it has a top chat and everything going on in there. And it didn't bitch back me and say, no, you can't do this.
I just got a notification that we posted a video.
Oh yeah, I just looked at the page and saw things. So, hey, they told us 24 hours. We cheat the system and made it at like 21.
We're here. We're here as fuck, man.
Because, you know, it's Wednesday night. And you know what that means. So we have to be here.
And you know what that means.
Wednesday night is wrestling night. We are Top Rope Tokes. I'm just saying, that guy over there.
I am Range of Motions, baby.
And you are here for our very first live stream on YouTube. Not first live stream period, but switching it over on YouTube, trying some things a little bit different. Got some nice, I guess you could say a nice announcement. And you know what? I was going to save this for the end, but we're going to cut it up after it anyway, make a bunch of little videos. I didn't tell you this, but there's a certain milestone that's coming up, right?
Yeah.
First 100,000 views is coming up. In fact, Paige might say it when I wake up in the morning. Fingers crossed. Well, this Friday is also payday. There's some things I've been meaning to get around to doing, which is like uploading, like you wanted the white version of a shirt, like to kind of get some of that stuff. Check out a different website because where I was going, they raised their prices again. So here's what I'm going to do.
Be clear with everybody. I don't like the white version of anything. Just to make sure nobody gets that, we just want a white shirt. That's all. But otherwise, I don't want the white one.
I'm like, I was only making it because you said so. So the thing is, I want to celebrate. So if you want to enjoy it, and also we're switching over on YouTube, either comment in the live stream or on the video after the fact, and I'll probably cut this up and put this on some of our smaller videos too. Make a like the video, drop a comment. It's just saying Top Rope Tokes. I don't care. I'm gonna pick one person. Sorry, I'm not rich yet. Powerball hasn't hit. I'll pick a person, try to reach out, see about sending out a shirt once we get that up and running.
Oh yeah, you want that Top Rope Tokes t-shirt.
Trust me, you go to wrestling events, people will approach you and they will compliment you on the shirt. Mm-hmm. We have the experience.
Guaranteed every time. People love the Top Rope Tokes t-shirt. They have no idea that we're a podcast most of the time, but yeah, we have a nice shirt.
But the fact that they don't know that we're a podcast and they like the shirt, that means it's just a good looking shirt.
Yep.
It's not like wearing a very ugly sports uniform or sports team's logo on a shirt where people know you're just a fan of the team. No, it's a good looking shirt. You probably had a team in mind when I was saying that.
Oh yeah.
If there was a team that came to mind as I said that, who would that be?
Well, my team that I don't really think the stuff looks good for, that I rock, is the Steelers. Oh. The Bumblebee stuff just doesn't work out too well for me, but
the Bumblebee stuff. I hate their throwback Bumblebee jerseys, and I hate Green Bay's throwback jersey too.
Yeah.
But not even teams that you rock. I think, like, who the hell would ever wear something for the Washington Commanders unless they were just a fan of that team, and they're losing all of those.
I kind of miss the old Chargers.
You miss that powder blue?
Yeah. Or I miss the LaDainian Tomlinson Chargers.
So I wanted to do something a little bit different. Well, also it's because we can only do this so often. But we went to that show over the weekend. And with the new style of how we're doing this show, trust me, if you're here simply for the results, no opinions, no fun wrestling talk, you have those scrolling over top right now for you. We made fun improvements. But let's talk a little bit about that GCW show.
Dog. That was 3 hours of blood and glass.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge some glass. Because you were going to have to.
Dude, one of our friends caught like a big piece of glass, like bigger than my glasses lenses.
I got on a video. I'll try to screen grab it real quick and put it right as you're talking about it.
Yeah, I love it.
You hear him in the video said, "That hit me." I remember exactly what it was watching back those clips too, because I mean we saw glass tubes fly into the crowd numerous times.
Yeah, we bought second row seats and we did not sit in our seats at any point, and it was a good idea to not sit in our seats.
I feel like the only seats that would have been worth getting would have been if we got our initial ones that we wanted, which were the stage seats.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the view on some of those shots?
I feel like the front row would have been those good seats on the stage. Like, if not front row, then standing row's better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they probably didn't want you standing up and moving around too much on stage because that's where the camera was. That's where some of the wrestlers were coming out and watching the show from.
Right. It was pretty cool that you got to be over there with the wrestlers, but shit, standing room was like $50 less. Should have done that.
Ooh. And if you go watch some of our clips, you can see we had a great view. Even my short ass. If you don't know this, between the red hair here, I'm also short, so I am like a real life leprechaun.
Yeah. He only recently started embracing it.
I just got
last like few years or so.
No. I recently got hit with the memory on Facebook from like 9 years ago when I first bought the outfit and it was at Tarek's house.
Oh yeah. I forgot you did that. You did do that a while ago.
I went to the party over that was by your old dad's house, like South part of Inkster. We went to that one Halloween party. Yeah, I ripped the pants that night. But the amount of tears that happened did not compare. But GCW did have good, like, different styles of wrestling all throughout the show.
Yeah, well, like, we had some good, like, legitimately good, like, technical wrestling with Jonathan Gresham
versus Yamato. Yeah.
Like, we had like a luchador high flyer type of match in there.
Yeah, the 4-way, that was Gringo Loco, Commander, Nick Wayne, and ASF. But also, I would kind of, in some ways, include the Jordan Oliver versus Shiho in that, the opener, because they were moving.
They were moving.
Thick powerbomb in that match. I remember that much.
I know which one you're talking about.
It's a clip that's going up. I don't care that it's a basic power bomb. It was a nice power bomb.
Hey, a good power bomb is a good power bomb. Like, we've seen the difference in power bombs. Like, why is Wardlow able to use a regular power bomb as a finisher, other than the fact that he does a whole lot of them? He makes it look good.
Or, like, if you want to go back old school in time, Kevin Nash literally just picked somebody up and dropped them from about 7 feet in the air. He didn't really power to the power bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's some force in there.
Blake Christian beat Cole Radrick. Jordan Oliver beat Shield. Nick Wayne won the 4-way match, which was awesome, and I legitimately thought he might have hurt his shoulder because he sold the hell out of it at one point.
Yeah, I thought he was alright.
Like the way he bounced on it so hard and went right out of the ring and was like in a panic. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. He's young, his bones bounce.
Yeah, I had to look at Brandon and I was like, yeah, he's 17, dude. He was like, what?
So I'm like, yep, he's young, his bones will bounce. They'll be all right. He's gonna be fine.
You had the tag team match. Chase Burnett and Malcolm Monroe the third versus Ali Kachanafi. You don't need me to finish that sentence and know who wins.
Bussy.
I have multiple clips of that just because like Ali was dancing up a storm before and after the match, just having a good old time. Friend was a little bit surprised to see. At first he thought it was going to be an intergender match. I'm like, no, she's just going to fuck up all the dudes.
Yeah. Like, nope. She's just out there to whoop their ass.
Death match between Shane Mercer and Tommy Vendetta. Tommy's was the hometown boy. They let him look good, but no. Shane Mercer's a big, strong boy, and he proved it. And also impaled our friend with light tubes. Then you had the Jimmy Lloyd versus Hoodfoot death match.
That was hard to watch. That was entertaining, but hard to watch.
Oh, fuck my life, dude.
That whole match was hit of the year.
I also never hit start recording until right now.
Son of a biscuit.
So half of the GCW stuff won't make it. There won't be a GCW clip unless you will go back and watch live stream. Hey, it's an exclusive. We'll call it that way.
Exclusive.
You gotta watch the long video.
Yeah, then we'll talk about AEW for the non-exclusives.
Yeah, Jimmy Lloyd versus Hoodfoot. Did you watch that video I sent you? The 4-minute one.
I did not.
Let me know what you think, because I do have that ready to go. But yeah, I started off that little 4-minute video of highlights with the fire being lit. The guy Jimmy Lloyd going through it. And the last thing that you see or hear as you're going into the intro is, your butt's on fire. I wonder who said that. Yeah. Hoodfoot got the win. There was so many panes of glass broken. It really was tough to watch. It was the hardest one of the night to watch.
Yeah, like there was barbed wire wrapped glass, and then it wasn't enough, so he set the glass on fire. As if glass itself isn't already enough. Like Hoodfoot's back was red and white. For reference, Hoodfoot is a black man, but his back was red and white. After the match, there was no black left. His back was just glass and blood.
It literally looked like his back looked like Godzilla. Just like the amount of shit like sticking out of it.
Just like scales, yeah. Oh my god. I don't know like whoever pulls out his glass, good on you.
Actually, hold on. For the sake of jokes, that wasn't the hardest match of the night to watch. It was Shane Mercer versus Tommy Vendetta. Man, they busted out the Legos.
Oh shit! Yeah. Yeah, that would have finished anyone. Landing on some Legos. I kept, because I was like, is that a Lego? Is that a box of Legos? Like, I was like, what the fuck? Is that a box of Legos? Why do they have a box of Legos there?
You want to know what's messed up? Until last night, watching back clips, I'd never noticed the box of Legos till last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was throwing me off the whole time. I was like, why is there a box of Legos sitting in the corner of the ring? Like, I was really hoping that they were going to build a Lego tower and then slam each other on top of it.
Like, hey, if you get impaling with glass, we're gonna impale you with a tower of Legos.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I wanted. It's okay though. Lego damage is still fatal.
Then you had the main event, the GCW Tag Team Title DLC match, doors, ladders, and chairs. For those who may not be familiar with GCW, they typically don't use tables. Doors are probably a lot cheaper, which is a great thing when you break as many of them as you do.
Yeah.
Mega Bastards came into the match as champions. They faced Los Macizos, Second Gear Crew. Oh yeah, just triple threat. And they lost it to Los Macizos.
Like the last 3 matches on this were brutal. Like the one before this one was, but this one was brutal too. Like they made sure that they did not leave without anything being unbroken.
Wait, was it before this match that they just stopped and they started pulling up? Yeah, because they at some point just were like, hold up, we're going to bring every single box of light tubes that we have out here right now.
Yeah, go ahead and make sure you use all of these.
But it's funny because I've seen clips on Twitter where the Brett, the guy who owns GCW or runs it, he's like, quit breaking all the chairs. They're so expensive to replace. Because I guess they're getting those from like the venues and stuff, not bringing them.
Oh, okay. That's funny. Don't break the chairs.
Hey.
They're going to break several chairs a night.
It's
GCW. I hope all your wrestlers are still alive.
I can't believe the number of the ones that we saw that turned around and wrestled some of those matches that turned around to wrestle the very next day. I'm like,
oh yeah,
we're all messed up yesterday.
Yeah, I forgot they had a show the next day in Ohio. But they said Ohio doesn't allow death matches. Something like somebody said that.
I do know that where they were, they did have. I saw people tweeting about it, and it's funny because your commentary during one of the match spots, I guess the place that they went in Ohio had a very, very strict no balcony diving policy.
Well, I wasn't gonna dive.
Positively no stage diving.
Yeah. Yeah, but there could be some negative stage diving. Yeah, they left the door wide open for negative stage diving. Like, just no positive.
All right. So, downside is since I completely fucked up the recording, it doesn't really matter to wrap up the whole GCW stuff so nicely. Because I can't make a clip out of it. I'm going to have to remake the announcement at the end of the show then, too. Damn. Because that was the very first thing that we talked about.
Yeah, we have to tell them how much we are
amazing
wrestlers. Yeah, how much we are amazing. Oh, my knee.
He's awesome. He's just also falling apart.
Yeah, I'm awesome. Awesomely dying.
So
my knees are creaking.
I feel like a good time to jump into AEW then. As we said, if you were watching in the very, very beginning, I have the results going across the screen up top. Don't really need to do a full show rundown in the way that we might have in the past. So I just want to start off with what could be the most important news of the night. And it was a very short thing that happened on the show where you never actually saw anybody, but it's the news we've been waiting for.
Yeah, they just give us a cute little cartoon. Everybody, the Elite are coming back.
I mean, the video itself was leading to the exact opposite of that, but obviously you don't make that video.
Because the video highlighted them being gone. Had them kind of like snapped out of existence like Thanos.
So earlier in the day, I had seen the report saying, all right, they were expecting back imminently, even if it is just backstage for a while, which would make sense because you might have to take, hey, you're back now, but then we got to figure out a plan for you. Okay, makes all the sense in the world. Didn't expect that within like the first half hour of the show, we get a little video. It's, I don't want to say narrated, but you have like a promo playing over top of it, and it's just them talking about essentially building AEW. They keep showing clips and videos through the development, like their press conferences and stuff. And the Elite just keep disappearing out of every single shot.
Yeah. They're just gone. All the time.
So, the pay-per-view is a little less than a month away. Do you think they come back before the pay-per-view? Or do they play this out with just like videos for that long?
I wouldn't. I think. Damn. It's hard. Actually, the pay-per-view is only like 3 weeks away?
So, looking at the calendar, so you have this weekend's one weekend, the 5th is the second weekend, 12th. So, 4 weekends from now. But that's including this upcoming weekends. So, you're still going to have a Rampage and then 3 sets of weeks in between. Is 4 weeks of video when it's not cryptic too long?
Yeah, that's too long to me. I could possibly be in the minority. People could be like, yeah, keep on playing us lame videos, because one video was enough for me. If there was another one, I wouldn't want it.
Because, okay, when you got a cryptic thing building to like a surprise where you don't know, that's a different story when you can keep building on it.
But this was like, hey, the Elite are coming back. It's pretty obvious. The Elite are coming back, guys. We're just letting you know. We're just not telling you when.
I made one possible exception to this. Mm-hmm. And that's if somehow, and this, again, one possible exception, so this isn't going like breaking rules and shit, is if somehow
with ideas with his heart.
If somehow Will Ospreay and Aussie Open became exclusively AEW wrestlers and Will Ospreay was trolling them saying like, yeah, they don't even matter, we're here now. But then it would still mean you have the Elite coming for them after the fact. So either way, they're coming back. And that scenario ain't happening either. It's just, is it going to be before Full Gear or not? That's the question.
I hope it's before Full Gear. Just because I don't want them to draw this out after they put this video out. Like, now I feel like you've got the clock's ticking.
And I feel like AEW has been good about subtle storytelling in the past. Just look how they were building back to Hangman getting back with the Bucks. They do good, slow storytelling when they want to. This was too on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah, this was point Plank obvious. So, like I said, clock is ticking on this one. They gotta move fast because I don't think anybody like me personally. I would not be interested in seeing another video and waiting longer. Just either they have to appear now or I'm not gonna care.
Like, even if you do it the Dynamite before the pay-per-view, that means you can go a week without a video, then a week with a video. I don't know, or do something subtle. Like, have somebody be like, have Don Callis seen backstage in a, not even like focus on them, but like walking through a scene. You could do something, but at least if you have them come back like right before the pay-per-view, you can kind of just give that cloud of mystery of what the hell are they gonna do at the pay-per-view.
Right. Right. So, yeah, I'm really hoping that it's going to be before the pay-per-view because I'll be bored if they draw it out.
Not only that, I need them back sooner than later because I doubt we get another episode of BTE before they return, and I need my BTEs on Mondays because like you're kicking off the work week. Great, I don't have much time to sit and watch anything while at work, but at least I can get off of work, come home, and enjoy an episode of BTE.
All right. So there we go. Decided. Next week they have to do it. So that way you only have to miss one more BTE episode.
I lost track of how many, but they post them on Monday, so if they came back next week, we probably wouldn't get it until the next one. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
One more episode.
So yeah, you got at least one more episode to miss. But they should come back next week. And there we go. More BTE.
See, if they didn't have the falling out with Adam Cole, then I would love to see him. And then Adam Cole wasn't hurt. Like, if those two things were entirely changed, Adam Cole would have been perfect to face Chris Jericho next week for the Ring of Honor title and have him come back with him to take out JS.
I mean, I think Jericho has to go through every former Ring of Honor champion they have before
he loses
the belt. So that means, I guess, anybody that's still currently linked to AEW in any way. I don't know ROH history, but I know Samoa Joe is one that he'll have to face. He's already beat Danielson.
There needs to be a few of them, like Dawn Castle. I feel like there's another one in there that completely missing already. Jay Lethal?
Yeah.
No, that would make no sense. They're both heels. But they both been heels, so it would have been weird.
Yeah. But if Jay Lethal was the champion at some point, he probably is going to want to face him at some point.
I feel like they're about to circle back to Claudio since he got to pin Jericho tonight.
Okay.
Like maybe for the pay-per-view and then
CJS.
I hope not. But I'm like, Claudio did just pin the champion tonight. Oh. Yeah. So that's two things I really don't want to happen is continuation of this feud or a heel versus heel thing. Now, I did notice that when Jericho had made the point that it doesn't have to be a former world champion anymore.
Let's see here. The longest reign was Jay Lethal. Second longest was Samoa Joe.
And then, but I mean,
He can't face Cody Rhodes.
Loki isn't happening. I don't know who Xavier is. Samoa Joe. Also, they're not bringing in Austin Aries. I can almost guarantee that. Don't know who James Gibson, Danielson beat. Homicide could come back. He came through before. Or no, or was it Hernandez?
Will be one that he can do.
Nigel McGuinness's career is over. Jerry Lynn isn't about to do it. Tyler Black is.
Kyle O'Reilly's on the shelf too.
Tyler Black and Roderick Strong are both in WWE.
Did he already face Roosh?
I don't know. That'd be
no. He faced Bandito, but he hasn't faced Roosh, right?
Right, and it also wouldn't really make a ton of sense both being like straight up heel.
Yeah.
I have no idea where Eddie Edwards is right now. Kevin Steen is also WWE. Davey Richards, is he New Japan? Currently signed to MLW. I'm not sure, but Adam Cole, Michael Elgin's probably not being touched.
Yeah.
Wait, he fought Christopher Daniels though, right?
Not recently.
No, Daniels got into it. Jay Lethal talking about ROH stuff. That's what that was. It's not gonna be Cody.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not. Definitely not gonna be Jonathan Gresham.
I mean, I could see him trying with PCO. Considering they're both Canadian, and PCO might be one of the only guys that comes close to Jericho's age. Because PCO is probably older. He's 55? Turning 55 this year. But the reason why I said that is just because of the fact that later in the show when they were doing the match card, they said it was going to be a world champion again. Even though Jericho opened it up to other people. This was, by the way, this was after they lost, as you can see up top. Jericho and Garcia had lost to Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. Not only that, but they got the double spin treatment with Jericho getting swung and Garcia on his shoulders.
The Giants was wild. While he had that little boy on his shoulders and that old man in his arms.
Yeah. It was funny because in the interview after that started off him opening up the challenge a little bit, Jericho asked, what kind of man accepts victory when there's a baseball bat in the ring? That Jericho brought in the ring.
Yeah. Jericho and his, what kind of man? I love his, what kind of man does that?
It's always something asinine, totally hypocritical.
Yeah. Like it'll always be, or it'll be like, what kind of man doesn't wear a shirt or something like that? And then they cut to a clip of him at the announce table not wearing a shirt. Like, it's like, yo, you're at the announce table not wearing a shirt. What are you talking about, Jericho?
It's one of those Jericho things that he always does that I can actually still enjoy. I do get annoyed by a couple of the like whenever he thinks that somebody taps out to the walls of Jericho, and he does the whole raise my hand thing, and they're like, no, and he throws a little fit. Like seeing that in every match at this point, I don't care for.
I like it.
I don't mind it. I just don't need to see it in every single match.
Yeah. Don't need to, but you're going to, so.
Outside of that, Sammy just comes in at the end and he's like, I'm going to beat Danielson's ass. He said other stuff, but that's really all he said.
Pretty much, dude. Just like, yeah, I'm going to fight Bryan Danielson.
And just so we can kind of keep all this, like, longest feud in the history of feuds stuff together in one video. Let's just skip ahead to that Sammy versus Danielson match.
Yeah.
I've never been so happy about a foregone conclusion in my life.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was obvious that Sammy was losing this match. Um, Danielson has lost enough to the JAS,
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely didn't think he would be losing to anyone else from that group. Because otherwise, like if he lost to a third member of the JAS, it'd just be like he needs to just go lay down and just be a JAS bitch.
Not only that, but to some extent because of a little thing that happened between him, Wheeler, and Claudio earlier in the night, kind of building on Yuta not being happy with Danielson. It looks like that feud is actually turning more inward within the BCC right now, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, was that last week when they had the sit down?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it's been starting to look like there's gonna be some splinters in the group.
Yeah.
Which is, and they're gonna, I don't like how it's gonna work. If it's working the way that it seems like it's going to, where Yuta and Claudio kind of leave Danielson, but I think those two need the group.
I think they need Regal more than they need the group, just because for talking purposes.
Yeah.
And because like what Regal did on the mic last week was awesome.
Need the group. It was him and MJF. That promo was mastered.
So before getting into the actual match, let's actually go back to it. Danielson's with Renee. He basically goes, "I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated I lost to Jericho. I'm frustrated that Garcia turned his back on me and hit me with the title belt. I'm frustrated that last week Wheeler Yuta talked back to me. And I'm going to take all these frustrations out on Sammy." Yuta walks in and he's like, "You're happy to see Danielson mad," because he's fired up again, right?
Ready to kick somebody's fucking head in.
Right. Like Yuta says they're mad and they're fired up. They just beat JAS out in the ring. But he shoves Danielson. He's like, "I'm a grown man. If you have a problem," like dealt to his face. Claudio interrupts him. They basically say like, "Danielson, you're gonna win. We'll talk after." But definitely more signals to the splintering.
Yeah. The group is not gonna last. Which I thought that if any group wasn't gonna last, the JAS would start to break up here.
Does that mean within the next few weeks we're gonna see like Yuta at Danielson's throat and Claudio's just gonna Claudio Yuta away from Danielson?
It's been a while since we've seen Claudio carry a grown man away like a child. So it's about time.
And the way this is going, like Yuta's the one who got aggressive and like did the whole shoving and everything, it would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danielson won.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he beat Sammy. I was just thinking, so Danielson and Yuta have already faced off. It's been like more than once actually.
I feel like Yuta faced Danielson maybe once, but Yuta has faced Mox at this point probably like 4 times.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was Mox at least 2 times. Because I'm like, Yuta and Danielson at a pay-per-view isn't gonna be that interesting.
Because I think how it went is, I think Yuta lost to Mox before BCC was really a thing. Then he lost to Mox again when he was trying to get into BCC. And then he also faced him, I know, for at least a third time in the world title tournament when it got vacated. But I feel like there was another one in there trying to prove himself to BCC, because it felt like he faced him twice within like a month at one point.
I think he did, but I don't know. I don't know if it was 4 times, but I do remember 3, though.
But and Claudio wasn't there yet, so he didn't have to go through anyone else with the BCC.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, that group splintering. Like, where's the fun match gonna be at? Is what I'm looking at.
I could see Yuta and Danielson being a fun match. The problem is, I don't get the Yuta reaction has surprised me when he gets those big ovations. He just doesn't do anything for me, so it's kind of hard to be invested in on that front for me.
I like Yuta.
As a wrestler, just as a person, nothing's clicked.
Yeah, it's so his voice cracks a lot when he when he does promos, and I think that can kind of hurt his thing a little bit. But I think that's also still part of his character too, is he's still that upcoming kid. So it's okay, I guess, to me. I don't know. I just like Yuta. Mostly because that dude puts on an incredible match when you let him.
Yeah. No, I like him as a wrestler, just the other stuff, I'm like, okay, investment's not really there. I'm trying to think of another example. As I'm scrolling through my notes, but none of them really come up. Like, I think the Kingdom, when all said and done, I'm curious to see how they'll work out. But I don't know, one of those might end up being that way for me too. I heard both of them are pretty good wrestlers, from what I've known. Like that Matt Taven promo, I just did not care about tonight.
I don't think they presented them well at all. Like, I don't know. That, and I still can't get over the fact that they're called the Kingdom. The name just doesn't work.
Now,
like, they're 2 guys and a girl. It's not a kingdom.
now see, the people that originated it, Adam Cole has all the charisma in the world. If you make anything work, I'd be happy. I miss Adam Cole.
Yeah, this kingdom here needs him.
We've been to 2 shows, and I have not got to go Adam Cole, baby, once.
Well, that's your problem. You could have done it. Nobody told you not to.
But he wasn't there.
So you gotta let him know that you want to see him again, baby.
So now here's the fun question for you. Should we talk about the actual main event, or should we talk about the real main event?
Real. Willow wasn't on tonight.
No, but it's the match that you said you were surprised it wasn't the main event, and it was a hell of a match.
Oh yeah. That was the main event for me.
Swerve in Our Glory versus
that
FTR.
Was the peak of the show. For sure.
So
that was an amazing match. I took 0 notes.
Is it just me, or
I was just trying to enjoy it?
Is it just me, or was FTR kind of getting the least of reactions.
People didn't seem as hyped as they usually are for FTR.
Way to go, AEW. Killed their momentum by having them do jack all on TV for 4 months.
Yeah, because like a month ago, the reaction, people would have tore that place down. Just now, it was like, yay, we love them. But not like, oh my God, FDR.
Yeah, because you had both of them come out to the ring. Swerve and Glory had good reactions. FTR had a solid reaction. Then you had the Acclaim come out to have a seat at ringside, or on the stage actually, to watch a match. Massive ovation. Why is that, Range?
Yeah, they got a huge pop because they had Daddy Ass with them.
Totally just
That and people thought Caster was gonna rap.
I thought it was just because everyone loves the Acclaim.
Nah, everyone loves Daddy Ass.
I'm definitely never gonna have
Get that right.
bass in my voice to even try to do anything like Bowen, so I was trying to tee it up for you.
Nah, nope, everyone loves Daddy Ass. That's it.
Top Hat, if you're still there, we just want to kind of consolidate everything on over to YouTube and see someone like yourself gets a hop on in over here as well. But yeah, the start of the match in itself is pretty much the chance going for Daddy Ass.
It's the Keith Lee chant, but oh scissor me daddy.
Yep. They eventually move over into a much smaller Who's house.
Daddy's house, baby.
I mean, Swerve got a little bit of love, and I feel like Keith Lee, when he got in the ring, he had his love. The FTR chants almost felt like they were forced. They weren't just happening. Later in the match, once everyone got to respect them and love, realize how much we've missed them, a little different.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the FTR love was definitely louder than anything for either Keith Lee or Swerve at any point.
But they were like the last one to get any kind of chant, and I was like, "Aw, come on!" Like, I'm so used to FTR having massive crowd love. You said you didn't take any notes. I got a fun one for you. When they did the scissoring, when the Acclaim came out onto the stage, they did with the chairs that they're about to sit in.
Did. Oh, yeah. So my homie was about to leave, and this match kept him. He was like, all right, I guess I'll stay and finish this match. And I was like,
Nice.
Good match, huh? And he was like, can I just watch it? And I was like, yep, you sure can. You sure can. Go ahead. Enjoy.
Yeah.
This is what I came here for tonight.
They did the electric chair toss into a power bomb to Cash Wheeler, where Keith Lee has him up on his shoulder, throws him off, and Swerve drops him with the power bomb. And then Lee was legal man, so you have the biggest dude in the match lay on top of you, and you still kicked out of it. They actually showed the gun club at ringside, like, shocked. Like, what? You took that maneuver and then kicked out from underneath that guy. How are we gonna fight him? How are we gonna do it?
You just got to do some cheap firm stuff, you know?
Oh, we got plenty of that.
Yeah. They were all worried about it. Like, all you got to do is just get your posse out. Tell Papa Stoke you got a match coming up and you can't win it by yourselves.
So I definitely have a little bit of notes, because one of the next thing that I have a note on, there's a little icon in the middle of the screen. If anyone's popping in on YouTube that's never seen us over on Twitch, we take moments of the night. We like to call it that hardest of the night, thematically. For me tonight, It was when Swerve went to do the Swerve Stomp to Cash. Dax came in, pushed Cash out of the way, caught Swerve, went to do the slingshot powerbomb. Swerve countered it with a Hurricane Rana that Dax continued to roll through with, and then still picked up Swerve and hit the slingshot powerbomb. Never seen it before. Impressive as hell.
I'm gonna save mine. I'm not, because we're not gonna put them all in this match. But this match, dog.
Like
FTR, always with the dope matches.
Like, you know, it doesn't matter. They could go and take somebody who just has been training like 1 year in school and probably put on a really good like match psychology. Doesn't matter. Like, they could do it.
Yeah, but yeah, this match just, it had all the main event feel to it, like how much commentary was into it. Having the Acclaimed sitting up at the top of the ramp watching it, the Guns in the crowd watching. As the match gets going and it gets better and better, the crowd starts getting more into it. 'Cause in the beginning, they were, for what it was, they were not that into it. Because if I got to see FTR Swerve in Our Glory, I'd be going nuts.
I think it's probably the fact that FTR hasn't been around much recently, so they haven't had that momentum or anything going into it, even though you know the match is going to be great. Like,
yeah.
How many times did they try to hit the big rig on Keith Lee before they actually did it? They tried very early in the match.
So I thought it was just the once.
I feel like
earlier in the match, and then they got it later.
But they tried it only like a minute before they hit it, though, too. Because they didn't get it, then they turned around and did get it. So I know they failed twice and then they got it. But it doesn't matter. Still didn't win.
Yeah. Big rig was not enough.
Because Swerve managed to grab Dax's foot off and pull like him out from outside the ring. Was able to hit a low blow on Dax while the Gun Club's holding Cash up against the barricade, and Keith Lee was able to hit his like fireman carries into a power slam for the win.
I was not expecting that at all, because I didn't think we were going to get Swerve in Our Glory Acclaim 3.
I wasn't as surprised because FTR has belts and it wasn't a title match. So they don't lose anything by losing, really.
True.
So I was like, that might be to let that happen without really punishing them so much. But then you talked about the firm and the things that they do.
The farm.
Yeah. Gun Club came in after and they went to beat down on Dax, but then the Acclaim from up on the stage came running down and we're like,
yeah,
none of this.
Nah, we're good guys. We got to stop you from doing that.
Even though we cheat in almost all of our championship matches because Daddy Ass gets involved, we're good guys.
Yeah, they're good cheaters.
Where are you going with your hit of the night? Let's kind of start that segment off for me. If you could tell me where you're going with it.
It involves the stairs.
Okay.
In the main event.
Wait. I'm going to start off with a different part then before we get into it so we can lump some things together possibly. Mm-hmm. So all is really going to come down to how long each of our segments are.
How long?
How long?
How long these segments are.
Because Renee had a nice little interview with MJF. And obviously, he's awaiting the winner of whoever won the main event between Pentagon Jr. and Mox.
Dude. So good. MJF. He's it seems like he's starting to embrace the fact that he is a babyface, and even though he doesn't want to be.
I mean, he's still a dick.
Yeah. Like, he's going to be that, like, Sundeer babyface.
So,
but it works.
Question
like
for
when
you.
He started out when he started out with the Mox impression. That was so good.
What do you think of Renee now that you've seen her for a little bit? Because like tonight she showed more personality in like her interviews.
Yeah. I don't know.
One reason I asked.
I just noticed that they had her on screen a whole lot today, and that's my only thing that I noticed about it. Otherwise, she's a person that interviews people.
So, her being Moxley's wife, MJF would be the person to cross that line, right?
Yeah.
So I was kind of expecting that, but they didn't, which I respect, and that's actually kind of nice. You didn't take the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. Because I keep forgetting that she's like Moxley's lady, and yeah. That now surprises me that he didn't go for that. But he was doing a babyface promo today. So I guess it doesn't surprise me because MJF is a babyface now.
After he does that wonderful impression of Mox's walk and talk.
It's so good. Yeah.
I mean, even the things that he said is kind of crap that you can see coming out of Mox's mouth.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna get out of this ring. I'm gonna drink his piss or something. I was like, wait, why are you drinking pee?
But
so good.
At one point he says, with all due respect, and he calls Mox mid. Renee goes, Max, you can't say with all due respect and then say something insulting. He turns around right back to her and goes, with all due respect, Renee, shut your mouth. And she just like backpedaled, like was like, whoa. But she kind of also laughed.
Yeah, MJF was going hard, but it was MJF babyface. Still.
Right, perfect example.
He was being an asshole, but he was a babyface.
Perfect example. He said something like, when he said he'd win clean, he meant relatively. Like, he's MJF after all. He might cheat a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm me. I'm gonna do some stuff, maybe. But I won't use the ring.
He did make that promise because he was comparing to what Regal had said about not needing Nux to knock people out. All he needs is a grudge, and he's going to take that chip and shove it down everyone's throat and become champ. But then things get a little bit interesting. Your buddy Stokely wanders on out.
Oakley's like, hey, what do you mean not cheating, man? That's what we do. That's our thing. We cheat.
Like, yeah. He promises not to touch him, and MJF just smacks the mic right out from his hands and grabs the mic from Renee and says Stokely must got comfortable since he's known him forever. But he needs Mox at 110%, so there's no excuses. So he tells them if they look at him the wrong way, touch him, do anything like that, he's gonna fire Stokely. And Stokely just walks off with a big old smile on his face. I had no idea where the fuck this was necessarily gonna go.
Yeah. But just know that when Stokely's smiling, there's a big plan. Yeah.
And it's probably going to involve something that a lot of people would call a dick move.
Yeah.
He's going to screw somebody over. Stomping on people. Get where he's trying to go.
He might stomp on somebody. Stomp him in the nuts. Stomp him in the nuts.
I mean, so that obviously plays directly into the main event because he's like, don't touch Mox. And I'm just going to say, the Penta versus Mox match, I was looking forward to it because Penta's a very different style. And I wanted to see a little bit of that at least. I wanted to see how much Mox would incorporate Penta style into the match. We let him have his stuff. That's cool. But I will say, my first actual note of this match, the logo and the floor is all yours, sir.
So, at first, it looked like Penta was going to hit a destroyer on the steps, and Mox counters it, catches him while he's underneath, and he twists him around a little bit and hits a DDT onto the steps, like onto the edge of the steps, where there's so much more possibility for just some kind of nasty injury. And yeah, that is my hit of the night. Penta getting DDT'd on the steps.
Yeah. Anytime you catch the corner on something, even if it's not like the corner of the stairs, but like the corner of to the bottom, anytime you catch a corner on something that's as stiff and as strong as like steel, whatever, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yep, that's my hit of the night.
Granted, they are professionals and they know how to usually protect each other.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, things happen, but
it's a physical.
Nothing happened here.
It's today, a physical thing.
Another main event with. I mean, I guess things happened here.
Stuff happened. To actually hit a fear factor, but Mox kicked out. It was super close. You said he was moving before the initial replay. I was not so barely sure.
It was barely. In another universe, Penta is the AEW World Champion right now, and I want to be there.
But instead, not long after, Penta springboarded himself right into a paradigm shift and then a Death Rider for Mox to win. But there's still a good amount of time left in the show.
Yeah, we still had more than 5 minutes left when this match ended.
So clearly something was going to happen.
So what's going to happen? I had no idea. Going through my head was the Elite can't be coming back here. This wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, are we going to have another... I mean, MJF coming out to talk about fighting Moxley again to end the show. I don't know about doing that either. So what's going to happen?
And if he attacks him, it goes directly against what he said earlier in the show.
Right. And yeah, MJF is being a babyface. He wants to do things the right way. He will be the big bad champion once he's the big bad champion, but he's going to get there the right way, is what he is basically saying to us all here.
He's not going to take the super easy way out. He might take shortcuts. He's just not going to take the easy way out.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
But now we saw why Stokely had a big old smile on his face, because Morrissey was in the ring and took his ass out at first. And then the rest of the firm came down and got in on it.
Yeah, they brought out the rest of the little squad, and they just They jumped Moxley. They ganged him. Stokely just sat in the corner, just smiling.
On top of the turnbuckle.
Directing. Yeah, sat on the turnbuckle. Just like, hey, y'all. Yeah, keep hurting him.
The Firm completely wiped out the security guards, and no problem. And then we got the clip backstage where they were showing that the BCC's locker room door was chained shut, so that's why none of them are coming.
Yeah, they locked them up. They can't get out there. Mox puts up one last fight so he can look real tough. He fights off a couple of them. He fights off Moriarty and one of the guns. And then Ethan Page kicks him in the face.
If you're trapped in your dressing room, does that also mean you're trapped in the closet? Clothes changing area. No, I guess not closet. I had to. But MJF, you had felt that they possibly made a mistake in not playing his music.
Yeah.
But he came out very hesitant. He was like stressing whether or not to go help Mox. Or at least
stop what's happening.
Right.
Because Mox was just getting stomped for the last 5 minutes. But he walked away for a minute. Right. So I was like, okay, maybe his music wasn't supposed to drop there. But then he came running back out.
Full sprint. And they weren't even looking at the stage anymore, so you're just kind of like you're focused on the ring and the stage is in the background, but you hear the crowd.
Yeah. Like you hear the crowd going off, so you know he's coming down.
Mm-hmm. But
because the crowd only goes that crazy for MJF.
He doesn't really get too physical. He just kind of shoves them all off of Mox, right? Then he turns to say something to Mox. I completely forgot. It sounded like he said 6 or something. I was like, well, the title match is well more than 6 days away or something. So I wasn't sure what he was said. Did you catch it?
I didn't catch what he said to Mox. I just know that he told Stokely he's fired.
Oh yeah, he turned her. Yeah. He told Stokely he's fired before. Then he says something to Mox because it's as soon as he turns around again, Ethan Page lays him out with a big boot, big kick.
Yeah. They just
beat his ass.
About MJF.
Ethan Page got to hit it Ego's Edge, but there was still like 2 or 3 minutes, like over 2 minutes left in the show still at that point. So way too early to just kind of do like the taunt and go off the air. He's outside the ring. He gives up, kind of like Mox did. He gets to put up a little bit more of a fight for a second. A couple of times actually on their way over to the table. And you had said, oh, nobody's broken a table tonight.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we have to break at least 1 table a night on AEW TV. So here we go. We'll end the show with 1 today.
I think it was an effective one, though.
It was a good chokeslam. Gotta give him that.
And also kind of developing the story between MJF and the Firm. I said to you as the show went off the air, I wonder if this is because they finally realized MJF was not going to be able to be straight up heel, and they need to be straight up heel.
Yeah, it could be. Also, I really don't think that they expected MJF to come back and just be this like overwhelmingly loved character that has to be a babyface.
Yeah, I thought maybe they could have got away with kind of maybe some cheers because he was already being cheered.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think that they thought it would be like this to where it's like he's more over than the Acclaimed. And everyone loves the Acclaimed.
Man, All Out. I'm actually surprised how long it's been since I've gone back to watch the All Out clips. And and the weird thing is when I go back to MJF's return, I have to start with like our clip for hear my reaction and everything else. And then I jump back to like trying to find the official ones where I can hear it, how it was on TV and everything else and get the good quality. But like, no, I need that, like that first person perspective back again just for a moment.
Yeah, just because it puts you right back where you were. Where I was like, that's MJF. When he came out to get the poker chip, I'm like, that's MJF. That's MJF.
So I just realized all those clips were on the old phone. I did transfer some over. I don't know if any of them are still saved anywhere. Because I was like, man, just in case anything ever happens, I should probably upload those to a second place, like onto Facebook or something. I guess I know what I'm doing tonight, making albums on Facebook, just to be like, hey, in case anything ever happens to YouTube, I have these memories somewhere. Somewhere they won't be taken down, hopefully, but eh. Besides that, there was another match, but I feel like in itself, there isn't a ton to talk about, so I'm just going to kind of hit up another women's part of this first, in which, I mean, I guess they're all kind of related in a slight way, which is Renee was with Soraya. They were kind of do their whole friendly banner, like, hey girl, it's so nice to see you, like I don't know, like I forgot what she called her, like my Joan Jett to my something, like they're just doing that stuff, right? Britt Baker walks in, they just,
thank goodness,
got catty, I guess is how you say it, and kept talking over top of each other, and nothing happened until Renee did a mom thing and just was like, if you want to talk about it, yeah, we're gonna do this the right way. So they're gonna have a sit down. Was that for Rampage or was that Dynamite next week?
I have a feeling it'll be Dynamite, but it feels like it should be a Rampage to me because meh.
Maybe with Rampage having only an hour.
They're trying to make me care about a wrestler I've never seen before, and I don't at all. Put her with Britt Baker, and I still don't care.
Yeah, because at least other people, if they come in starting, they at least have matches against other people. You were waiting on this before you even expose her as a wrestler at all. Yeah, like she showed up and we didn't even know if she was ever gonna wrestle there. They're just like, yeah, she's here. She'll be doing stuff. So it's a very loose tie-in, but considering the matches they've had of late and the way that certain things have worked out between them and other women on the roster, I was just gonna lump in the Jamie Hayter and Rio, because this match came about because of a collection of these people fighting, right? Rio came out crossbody to make the save, crossbody Jamie Hayter. Was there any doubt in your mind who was winning this match?
Yeah, it's Rio's first match back, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But still,
who's the one being positioned to take the title from Tony?
She's not going to, though. Come on. But she's being positioned as Tony's next big, like, match, feud, threat, whatever you want to call it.
Contender, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but that belt's not going anywhere until Thunder Rosa comes back.
But you weren't going to undermine that championship match by having Jamie Hayter turn around and lose. So, at one point, I thought it was beautiful, and I know you loved the maneuver at first. Rio went to hit another crossbody on Jamie. Jamie caught her. flipped her up and hit a nice brainbuster on Riho. In the end, she ended up winning with a ripcord lariat. But how well do you remember that lariat?
I saw it.
Because it looked either really strong or really, really nasty, as in somebody might actually get hurt. I had to go back and watch it a couple times. Like, okay, did her feet get out from under her? How'd she go? Because it didn't feel like Rio took a hit and like reacted. Like the arm drove her and down entirely to the mat. So I was like, either it looks vicious or it possibly was vicious, but she got the win with it. So as long as she's all right, everything's good, right?
Yeah, go Riho. Keep wrestling and stuff and be alive.
But keep losing to Jamie Hayter.
Someone twice your size. Yeah.
I put out a tweet. I said, I like watching Jamie Hayter beat people up.
Well, he does. He likes watching Jamie Hayter beat people up.
But circling right back to the women's champion, Tony comes out on the stage, just basically has the stare down and holds the title with Jamie. Lose the belt, Tony. Lose it.
Yeah. At least put on an interesting match when you retain against Jamie.
I'm going to celebrate the night when Tony has a match and she's the more popular superstar of the match. I'm going to make a note of it because it hasn't happened since she debuted, pretty much.
It does seem like everyone in every match gets more cheers than her.
I mean, when it was in the 6-person match, Willow did, Sheeta did. When it was just a straight up tag team, Sheeta got more cheers. On the other side, you have Britt and Jamie, who are both getting more cheers. Penelope Ford in the 6 is a little bit different. That's a little bit different. But either way, that puts you at 5 or 6 out of 6 people.
Yeah, Penelope. Yeah, you can't account Penelope Ford because I keep forgetting about her. Like, oh yeah, that's right, her. Yeah.
So we talked about some of the backstage stuff where they're actually talking back and forth where we had to. Obviously, we talked about the big Elite video because that's news in itself, like big deal. Outside of that, I feel like during this show there was 1, 2, 3, 4 straight up like video segments or video packages or backstage segments that didn't, directly tie into anything else that necessarily happened on the show. And that's pretty much all that's left to go over. So that might be
video segments didn't. I don't know. None of the video, like usually there's at least one really memorable video for me, and nothing stuck out today
besides the one that we talked about it by itself.
Yeah.
Not that it was great or anything. It was just big deal.
That was just big news.
So kind of run through them quick. It could probably just be its own one simple video by itself once we get it all caught up. But you had, you had the Kingdom video package, which went into Wardrobe, which, you know what? This was memorable. Just
because he talks shit about the Wardrobe name.
It's like, who did we disrespect?
It's terrible.
It's like, who did we disrespect? We never even said the name Wardrobe. And we would never say it. It's a terrible name. I'm like, thank you. I've hated this name since day one. And you were the second person on TV to at least back that up because
Wardrobe is awful.
We talked about this in the show. Gotta give credit where credit's due. Who's the first person we got to see on AEW TV talk shit about the Wardrobe name?
He said, with all due respect. But yeah, Mark Sterling pointed it out first on TV, and that man's a trailblazer. Fucking trendsetter. Let's go, Mark Sterling.
Thing to say.
Because he had Wardrobe.
I'm rooting or siding with Mark Sterling on something. I find him entertaining. I like him for that aspect. But he's never been one that I would expect you or I to really like prop up, you know? But go Mark Sterling. You could be my lawyer anytime.
I'm going to say Mark Sterling was my man's. I don't know why, but I loved when he had the petition against Swerve. Just that tickled the shit out of me. Just going around trying to get people to sign this to get a Swerve kicked off the roster.
You want to know my favorite thing about him and the Swerve petition? That's when we got Lawyerhausen.
Oh, yeah.
But that video package with the Kingdom ended up setting up on Rampage. They're going to have Matt Taven versus Wardlow for the TNT title. He talked about Taven being like a Grand Slam Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, he held the belts. All the belts.
Some point or the other. But after the Kingdom one, you had the whole Ray Phoenix and Alex with Renee, where they talk about Phoenix wants to be a double champion because I guess he wants a challenge for the All Atlantic, right? And then Penta's out there challenging for the world title.
Yeah, it's like, why can't I be a double champion? I should be a double champion.
Then Luchasaurus and Christian pop in. He was like, we told you we're going for all the titles, so if anyone should get a title shot, it's my right hand of destruction.
Yeah. And then Orange Cassidy just casually walks up, belt and backpack, pulls out, you guys want this? Okay.
And even on top of that, the funny thing is he didn't even look at any of them for like most of the time he was out there. He was looking directly at the camera with all of them behind him.
Yeah. You guys want this?
So another triple threat.
Another triple threat. This one on Dynamite.
What do you think about that whole Eddie Kingston with Renee?
Don't know what to think about it.
It felt very pointless to me.
Because it was meant to show that Eddie's not stable mentally. I get it. But he's shown that already.
Mm-hmm. It felt like they were trying to fill time, just like if you take away that aspect of it. I mean, I will say, it's Eddie. Anytime that you have him go on there to talk for a minute, he's going to at least make it... You can always listen to him. It felt like he was trying to make something out of nothing, almost. He did this nice big fake smile about the intervention last week.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's gonna do some crazy stuff. Some way crazier stuff is all I got out of this. So yeah, I guess they didn't have to do this.
I mean, he quickly deflected it from like that whole situation last week to just talking about Moxley versus Penta. I'm like, okay. Didn't really need anybody else to talk about that main event, but okay.
Yeah. And that's how you know, because he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Everything's good. See, I'm smiling.
Yeah, see, if
Kingston doesn't smile like that.
See, if
that's why, you know, there's something wrong.
If he didn't do exactly that, then I would have hated this altogether. Because if it was just him like talking regular, saying the same things without making like those expressions and stuff, I would have been like, this was pointless. But just even doing those expressions, I don't know, it means something. Just subtle. Then there's one thing left, and that's Darby answering a question about where is Sting? Where is his father?
Where's Papa Sting at? Daddy Ass versus Daddy Sting.
I saw them at a WrestleMania. I mean, I didn't see them, didn't go. They didn't face each other either. But they were all in like the same ring type area some years back, and it was bad. It was so bad. It's like, oh, Sting went to WWE. Oh, he's gonna have his WrestleMania moment, and he's wrestling Triple H. And somehow Triple H gets all of DX to come out on his side. You know who comes out to help Sting? His
NWO.
worst fucking enemies.
Yeah.
Where,
I mean, there was that short period of time where he was in the Wolfpack.
but it was the Hogan side that was with him. It was Hogan's, Hall, and Nash.
Yeah.
And on top of that, two of those three are best friends with everybody on the other side.
Yeah.
But
That was bad. Yeah, that's a bad idea.
and then he lost.
Well, yeah, because they brought out his enemies to help him. He spent all those years staring at them from the rafters in WCW, and now they're gonna have him come out and help him in WWE? Nah, son.
Like, you might consider Flair his greatest like rival, but the story that built WCW was Sting versus Hogan. I shouldn't say built it, but got it to that peak point.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg kind of right behind it in DDP. But like, the story was, when is Sting gonna do whatever to the NWO? But I already said he wanted to like crawl into a hole and disappear, and Sting was like, you can't, you're Darby Allin.
Yeah. He was like, you're Darby Allin. And he was like, yeah, that reminds me, I'm the only one that can beat me.
He's like, he says at some point, he's like, he's got to do this alone. So basically, Sting hasn't been around because he told him not to be around.
Yeah.
Some weak shit.
It was the most braggy emo thing I've ever seen.
But he's basically welcomed Jay Lethal's friends, who supposedly knows his weakness. He says he is his own weakness. And then right after, we get the wonderful trio of a giant, Jay Lethal, and a Chihuahua.
Yeah. Also known as the Lethal Team. The Lethal Team doesn't do much.
Yeah, I completely, for once, tuned out Sanjay Dutt, and I felt bad. Because the whole point of what Lethal said to me was, don't worry about our friend, worry about their actual match. And then Dutt said some stuff. I did not catch any of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember what he said at all, to be honest with you. Point of this is that Jay Lethal's bringing some more of his Lethal Team, whoever it is.
Yeah, I'm wondering. So that'll be interesting.
Because Jay Lethal knows everyone in the wrestling industry, I'm sure. So, who could it be? We don't know.
He's been around forever, and yet he is somehow younger than what I would have thought he would be. It's amazing. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks like maybe 40.
I mean, he's like 37, I think is what I saw it was. But
yeah, I'm gonna say like at his oldest he looks about 40.
But
I would be like, oh, he looks real good for 40 if he said that.
But I've been watching him wrestle on TV for like 15 years already. And then you
longevity.
but then you think about independence time and everything. So I figured he would have been older, but no, it just turns out he was at a pretty high level at a super young age.
Yeah. Prodigy. He's just so good.
Now I might have to go watch the Woo Off promo one more time. It's always good for a laugh.
Yeah. I wonder how that came about. Like, were they like, "Yo, Rick, you gotta hear this kid's Ric Flair impression. It's so good."
I don't know how they got to that point, but I do remember hearing that the night of that promo, Ric Flair refused to do any kind of rehearsal, bullet points, anything, that they went out there and like winged the whole thing.
It looked winged. That's for sure.
80% of the words were woo.
Yeah.
And then other Ric Flair catchphrases.
That's all we needed, though.
It was so good. I still have to remember, I need to get you to watch the
Ric Flair ×2.
The all in matchup that he had, where every time he took like a chop to the back or something like that, he would switch from Jay Lethal to Macho Man and back.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I can't remember if that one's on YouTube as a free thing. I think it might be, but as opposed, I'm gonna have to remember how to do the whole timestamp thing and send it to you, just so that way you don't have to watch the whole pay-per-view to find it.
Thank you.
All right, sir. So there's a thing to talk about real quick, because I messed up and I did not hit record in the very beginning when we went live. But also YouTube told me that we weren't going to be able to go live tonight. So what the fuck do I know? We are on the cusp of a milestone. What is that milestone, Range?
We are about to be the greatest of all time. Named by, just unanimously by everyone in existence.
I'll gladly take second place to Max Caster.
No. First. If we ain't first, we last. Okay.
I can't remember if I think he's greatest wrestler of all time. Anyway. 100,000 views, right?
100,000.
Fully understand that some people make it there faster. I'll also understand a lot more people never make it there in the first place. I want to celebrate. We should wake up at least by Friday morning and already have hit that number, but it's coming up, so we'll be able to talk about it a little bit more and really celebrate on Friday night.
Yahoo!
But you already see, we made the switch, streaming on YouTube. You can see the little sports ticker with the results going up on top. Making changes, making improvements. Not running down the show in order. Kind of keeping things together. There's one more thing I need to do, and that's go test out this new website with some shirts. Well, actually, I've used the website before. I like them. But we're going to make some new shirts. So, if you comment in the chat, whatever, for this stream or any of our videos within the next 7 days, if I see somebody go on there, put Top Rope Tokes, I will pick one person as a one comment that I will get you one of the shirts that we upload. And we were promising this earlier. You wear the shirt, people will comment. They will notice. First-hand experience, right, Range?
I had fun wearing that shirt because everybody loved it. I love that shirt, man. I love that shirt. That's so cool.
We split up the shirts.
I don't even know what it means.
We split up the shirt. I wore it to one show in Chicago. He wore it to another show in Chicago. Didn't matter what show we were at. Didn't matter the crowd because it was different people. people notice it repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
And you like to point out that they don't even know that it's a podcast.
Yeah.
We don't even get into the
they don't know.
conversation.
Yeah, because most of the time I don't have time to let them know, hey, check out the podcast. They're just like, I love that shirt.
Which means
podcast.
that without the context of trying to support any podcast or any kind of support system, it's a nice looking shirt. Instagram,
cool shirt.
You will see if you go over on Instagram, we posted a picture of us at GCW. This man over here was wearing the shirt. You can see it.
I had on one of them nice little top rope Tokes shirts. I mean, mine was a big shirt, but I had a nice big top rope shirt, Toke shirt on.
But hey,
top rope.
I don't know how many people will see this, talk about it, whatever. I want to throw it out there. Give it a week. Anyone that comments Top Rope Tokes in the comments, don't forget to like the video while you're there. I'll pick a person, reach out. We'll see about getting you a shirt. But until then, have yourselves a wonderful night. And we'll see you again on Friday night.
Hey, thank you for watching, y'all. Top Rope Tokes out.
So.